Hello there, everyone. I'm in season, and I'll be looking over the new Wilder Tamrus. As you can see, I've zoomed in a little bit to make it easier to see and to read along with me. I'll try to make this a little bit faster than the previous videos I've been working on. I really like this new Wilder. He's agility, he's might, and he's also control type. Just a little preliminary, this Wilder plays a lot like Queen in terms of damage output. Very much utility focused. Not a very high damage dealer, but very high CC, very high utility. And we'll get into it. So the ultimate skill, Pain Wheel. Tamrus spins around violently one time. Each spin deals damage to nearby enemies for 220% of his attack rating, stuns them, and drags them towards Tamrus. Tamrus spins one more time, up to 4 times, for every one enemy within range. The range of his spin increases with each spin. When he stops spinning, he forcefully kicks nearby targets, damaging them for 260% of his attack rating. Tamrus is immune to control effects while using this skill. So level 2 increases the damage by 240% of attack rating, up from 220. So this just increases his final kick. And then level 3, the final kick also silences enemies within range for 1 second. So interesting to note here is the more enemies, the longer it will take him for this last kick to go in and to silence. But when you have more enemies around him, he'll be silencing more enemies. Okay, so that's next skill. Earthbreaker. Tamrus leaps high into the air, then dive kicks the area with the most enemy heroes, damaging all enemies in the area for 200% of attack rating and knocking them airborne. Effects while using this skill. Level 2 and level 3 just increase the damage output by his attack rating. Level 4, Tamrus will immediately use Earthbreaker at the start of battle. I don't think that's a furniture exclusive. Let me double check this. Great skill. Yeah, it's not. So he gets that at Ascended or whatever. I don't know exactly what level, but he'll get that without any investment, which is nice. Okay, Infectious Enthusiasm. Passive. The more enemy heroes around Tamrus, the more excited he becomes. For every one enemy heroes near him, Tamrus gains one stack of the Enthusiasm effect, up to 5 stacks. Each stack of Enthusiasm increases his dodge by 6 points and his magic suppression by 2 points. Okay, so then level 2 increases the stack bonus. Tamrus' dodge by 9 points, magic suppression by 3, so dodge up to 9, magic suppression up to 3 from 6 and 2. Level 3 shortens the cooldown of Earthbreaker by 0.2 seconds each time Tamrus successfully dodges or suppresses enemy damage. Okay. Interesting. When Tamrus deals damage, a target will lose additional health equal to 1% of their lost health for each stack of Enthusiasm he has, up to 20% of Tamrus' attack rating. This effect triggers up to once every 3 seconds for each enemy. This is the E30. Okay. And then last skill, Get Over Here. Tamrus swings his grappling hook at up to 2 enemies, damaging them for 230% of his attack rating and dragging them towards himself. Enemies furthest away from Tamrus are targeted first. Hooked enemies have their attack rating reduced by 10% for 5 seconds. If there's only one target, the damage is increased to 50% of Tamrus' attack rating, and target's attack rating is reduced by 50%. So a little bit of a bonus if it's a single target. Level 2 increases the damage output. Level 3 increases the reduction of attack rating, 15% and then 25%. And then level 4, hooked enemies are silenced for 2.5 seconds. This is the E60. So he can silence up to 2 enemies here. I'm just going to read the signature item in the exclusive furniture, and then I will kind of give some thoughts on these skills, as well as show you some battle reports and guild trials to give you a better picture of what this hero is like. Enemy heroes hit by Get Over Here have their tenacity permanently reduced by 3 points. This spec cannot be stacked. Plus 10 buffs this by 2 extra tenacity. And then plus 20, any stacks of enthusiasm Tamrus receives last until the end of battle. Plus 30, Tamrus immediately receives 5 stacks of enthusiasm at the start of battle, and his maximum number of enthusiasm stacks is increased to 10. Okay, so from 5 up to 10. 10 or 5 used to be the maximum. Now 10 is the maximum, and he starts with 5 stacks of enthusiasm. So that's an important thing to know. Exclusive furniture. Tamrus enthusiasm rubs off on his allies. Each stack of enthusiasm grants an all ally hero 6 points of dodge and 2 points of magic suppression. So this is a similar buff to what the buff that he receives himself, although his is slightly better. His is 9 points of dodge and 3 points of magic suppression. But for his allies, it's only 6 and 2. 9/9. Each stack of enthusiasm Tamrus has increases the attack rating of all allied heroes by 4%. So at at plus 30 signature item, he can have 10 stacks. So at 10 stacks, that will increase attack rating of his allies by 40%, which is a lot. So this plus 30 in the 9/9, those work off of each other. As a benchmark, you'll want to get both of those together. Now, we already talked about the engravings. The E30 engraving isn't very good. That's the lost health percent by each stack of enthusiasm. So at 10, it's a pretty small damage output, and this isn't this hero isn't very damage centered or focused. So in terms of min benchmarks, I think you can start this hero out at nothing, at basically, ascended. And, you could start him at 0. And I think that this engraving E8 to get the haste is kind of nice as a low benchmark. Now, what would he be useful for at this low benchmark? Well, what he does is he jumps across to the other side, and then he'll grappling hook 2 enemies, usually the top and bottom enemy, to him, and that will group up enemies pretty nicely. Very similar to E30 Frampton. So this is a low invest E30 Frampton type hero in terms of utility. Okay, so then what would the next benchmark be? Well, I think that the next benchmark of importance is likely, plus 30, 9/9 furniture. Sure, you can do some sort of intermediary here and do plus 10 and plus 20, and then of all of those, I think the most beneficial at a lower benchmark is 3/9, but I think that really to unlock his potential to another level, you're gonna want to get him plus 30 and then 9/9. His engraving, the ability isn't really as important, but this insight and this haste, that's relevant. You'll want to buff up his HP percent and defense percent, his defensive stats, because he'll jump into the enemy line, and you want to buff up his survivability. So when you're getting his stats here, it's not to buff up his damage output. It's more to buff up his survivability, increases haste, so it reduces his cooldowns, and also increases his insight, so he has a higher chance of hitting these stuns. Then after 39, the next benchmark is E60 to get this hooked enemies are silenced at 2.5 seconds. But, you know, this is a really high invest tier. I don't think that many players will get this other than high spending players. You know, this is good for high spending players, but I don't think that this is a benchmark that low spending players will want to get. So now let's go and look at some trials real quick, and then that will be the end of the video. We're already at 10 minutes. I want to try to keep this shorter than I have in the past. This challenge at 6:01. Let's even just go into it, and we'll watch each one. So what I tried to do in these 5 battles is I tried to showcase his dive mechanics, show how he dives in and pulls enemies together, and then how you can utilize that as in terms of AoE. So this is gonna be really quick, but you can see he's diving in here. He dived into the back line, and let's see if he pulls in heroes to him. There, he pulled in Safia up here. And so now we got a really nice clump. We got Gorvo in the air from the enemies. We can't really stop that. Okay, now Gorvo's attacking LDV, but we got a nice clump here. Okay, now LDV is going to ult, and we're gonna get a lot of paintings here. And we got a really nice clump, and all that was really facilitated by Tamrus. Tamrus died off already. He's a very squishy hero, although Warwick was, very likely to kill him off. That's a pretty hard matchup for him. But that was a pretty simple, dive, group together, LDV ults, and we finish off our enemies there. Let's even watch that again, just really quick, and then we'll go into the next one. And I don't think he ultimated, but the hook into silence, that's nice to stop Safia. You can see that he didn't do very much damage. Mulan doing a lot of damage here. Okay, this next one, this is a Mahira charm. This one actually doesn't really showcase as well, and I just sort of pushed through this. This is like a one and done. But you can see that he comes in, he pulls in Varuk, he silences him, and then we're gonna get an ultimate off by Mahira, and then this is just a standard charm. But what's kind of cool about this is you can see that he's keeping them grouped up, he's stunning them, he's silencing them, and this is really controlling the enemies to allow Mahira charm to continuously charm the enemies. So although this isn't like his best use case, you can see the potential he has for a lot of different scenarios. One thing that I found kind of odd about this one is that he did a lot more damage, but it's likely that one of the heroes here was actually doing damage, and it's obscured in the battle report, but that's besides the point. Okay, now these next 3 are pretty cool, I think. And we got, we have Vathriel. This is a forward dive. Classically what we would do is we would put Frampton in here, and he would dive forward and he would pull in 2 heroes. But we can do it with Tamrus, which is pretty cool. Tamrus and Vathriel should combo pretty well because Tamrus reduces tenacity, and with tenacity reduction, Vathriel can CC block. One of his skills is blocking CC, but if the enemy tenacity is too high, then he can't do this CC block. So reducing tenacity should benefit him a lot. We have Queen here for AoE stun. We brought in Zolrath, so we act first, and I brought in Odin to reduce the energy gain by the enemies. When you'll sort of see why that ends up being relevant. But you see him jump in, and you see him pull immediately. So this pull is super fast, like within 5 seconds of the fight. And the two heroes are silenced, as you can see. And look how great this stun, or look how great this grouping and stun lock is from Queen. Forward stunning. And Vathril has AoE damage output. He's our main damage dealer, although Odin is also doing damage here by portaling units on top of each other, which does AoE damage. We lost Queen in the process, but it doesn't matter because we cleaned him up with that. Yeah, Odin and Vathril doing the most damage. And I'll play that just one more time really quickly, but really clean battle here. Yeah. So this is 601, and our level is 360. So that's 240 level deficit. Okay, so this next one is another forward dive. We're using Palmer to buff. We're using Mortis to buff. We've got Kanissa here to pull together an AoE. And we also have Tamrus here, who's also going to pull together an AoE. And you're going to see that he's going to pull them together faster than Kanissa can. And Kanissa is going to keep them grouped and stunned and controlled. We have Thane here just for a little extra DPS and survivability at the beginning. So we'll watch this one. He jumps in, we get the cook. We don't get Cecilia here, unfortunately. But that's okay. We get the ultimate off on Thane. We lose Tamrus. Okay, well that's fine because we have everyone grouped up. We have everyone where we want them. We got 2 ultimates off, so we got another ultimate on Kanissa. Kanissa is now ulting and AoEing. We're gonna get Palmer's ult here, I think. Get Palmer's ult, so now we're doing a lot more damage. And it's just a pretty straightforward cleanup from there. So we lost Tamrus, but he did the job that he needed to do. Okay, I'll play that one real quick. I think we have silencing on Thali here. Okay, so this is the last one. I got Moriel going here. I have Alna and Tamrus frontline. So this is pretty cool. Tamrus is gonna bring everyone grouped together, and Moriel is gonna AoE ult and put out a lot of damage, and Acelise is also going to do a lot of AoE here. I just wanted to see if I could get Moriel and Tamrus to work together at this deficit. It looked like we were able to do that. So he jumps in, he pulls these two enemies at the top. So it's very nice that he can select. It's not just the top and bottom that he pulls like Frampton. He'll just pull the farthest enemies. So sometimes you can pull some stray enemies that way. I like Moriel's ability that siphons energy and also stuns if they move outside of the AoE. We couldn't keep Alaro, in with us, unfortunately. But we're doing a lot of damage here, as you can see, even with Kanissa. Kanissa's a real pain to deal with, so this is really nice. We lose Moriel here to Leofric's totem, I think. We lost Alna. So who do we have left? We have Alaro, we have Sonya, and we have Kanissa. And we have Tamrus is still alive here, probably because of Alna frontline. And we have a lot of healing output right now. Okay, I think we're gonna kill off Alaro and Sonya. We're probably gonna lose Tamrus in the process. So we almost kill off. So we lose Acelise with one of Tamrus's Knissa's attacks. This gets pretty close here, I think. Yeah, so we lose to Tamrus. Knissa is just so strong. I think this is Knissa's immunity when he receives fatal damage. Thank God we killed him off with Nev. So we'll just play that in fast forward. Nice, and you can see his ultimate silencing. I think we lost Alna to Alaro's totem. It's pretty cute. Pretty cute fight. Okay, so those are the battle reports. That's my playtest. My playtest of Tamrus. Just a quick recap of him. He is a high utility hero, not a high damage output. He functions similarly to E30 Frampton. He's a forward dive type hero, a lot of CC. He's very squishy, so you need to have some sort of plan to keep him alive. You can use him right off the bat with his early jump in and pull. But to really see his potential, you probably want plus 30 and 9/9. He buffs tenacity he buffs dodge and magic suppression. He debuffs tenacity. He has a lot of silences and stuns. And this is the new Wilder. I'm in season. Please give me a like, follow, subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and join the Discord and come say hi. That's in the description below. You guys have a good one.